Today we're going to tackle how to install the undermount sink. So really simple. We have a cultured marble top and we have got a porcelain undermount sink here. This one is made in Germany. That's nice. It has a built-in overflow. So there's really nothing to be concerned about here. You just need to know which way to install it. So when you have a nice deep well like that on one side and shallow on the other, always install the shallow part towards you. That way it facilitates washing your hands. Most faucets drain the water right in the back of the sink. So all you need to do, step one, there's a couple of quick measurements that you need to do. Measure the depth of your cabinet to the underside of the countertop. In this case, it's a little bit more than 16 1/4. So because we're going to use shims for installing, we'll just go with 16 1/4. Nice and easy. This is 7 3/4. There we go. So we do the math. I'm just going to take myself an 8-inch piece of wood. I cut in advance just to save us some time. And the idea here is simple. I hold the sink in place. I apply my adhesive, which is a silicone. Now this is a New Flex brand silicone. It smells like vinegar. When it smells like vinegar, you know it's going to work really well. That's an important key. So then basically you put the silicone on, you pull the sink up by the drain into position, and you just wedge the piece of wood underneath. And then you use the shims to make it nice and firm, and then tap it with the hammer, and that'll force the sink up nice and level all the way around under compression. So in a perfect world, that works really easy. So let's get our sink in place here. Okay, so we're just going to apply our silicone really, not too liberally, about a 1/4 inch bead all the way around. You want enough that it bonds, but not so much that you're wiping out all the silicone for an hour and getting it all over yourself. Like I said, this is the good stuff, and if you get it on your clothes, you're not getting it out. You just want to be careful to make sure that your bead is nice and continuous, because it's not just an adhesive, it is also a sealer. Make sure that water's not going to get in the cabinet. And the secret to this, keeping clean, have toilet paper handy. All right, so now I'm going to grab this, lift it into position. My block of wood there. Oh, come on, baby. Here we go. Bigger. There we go. Now when that starts to make good contact, there we go. Yeah, I'm just jamming them in there, manipulating the front and the back side of the hole to tilt it and squeeze it in place. Okay, so now it's not going to fall out. So now that you get up here, you can kind of manipulate this into place so you don't want to have any of the corners sticking out. Make sure that the gaps are consistent all the way around. Okay. We're going to take a minute here. Wipe off the extra. Really, one wipe, discard. Don't try to be cheap with this because you'll end up getting it all over yourself. So basically it's installed now. It's siliconed in, it's in the right position. We've got the brace and some shims, but we want to add more compression. So this is the point where we get a little bit tricky with this. I'm going to add one more shim in here. Just a little bit of a hammer. Oh yeah, that lifted it right into position real good. Well, this is awesome having all this light with Max here today. I've never seen under a sink like this in my life. The bottom of this medicine cabinet actually isn't very strong. It's only about a 1/4 inch piece of plywood. And so this is a bit of a tricky scenario. The only other way that you could do this is you can do it from on top. You can put a piece of 2x4 across with a hole drilled here, and you can buy at the store a threaded rod about a 1/2 inch, and you can get galvanized bolts for the 1/2 inch rod. And then what you do is you put a little piece of wood underneath with a hole in it as well. You slide it over the rod, you tighten the nut on, and then from the top you lift the sink into place, and you can thread the rod and use a wrench to put the compression. That's another way to do it. This is just really quick and simple. Remember, if you want to learn more, just subscribe to our channel, Ottawa Design and Build here on YouTube.